Thanks, Karen. It's Max Ledoux. So, I know personally several people in town, and I imagine that there are other people as well who are wondering about the transfer station policy, which I have here. I mean, the temporary one, not taking recycling, which a lot of people care about, and construction debris, which is, I looked in February, your report, Clay, said that it was 45% of the containers that you shipped out. 45% of the containers were construction debris, and that was in February. So I imagine that in the spring, it's picking up quite a lot. And you would know better about the typical. I mean, am I correct in thinking that it increases though in the spring and the summer?
It's about the same.
Oh, it does, but it's about 45. It's a significant chunk, in other words. So, in your minutes from March 23rd, you said that the minutes state this change will be reviewed every few weeks. So I was just wondering if you had reviewed it since then, and if you have any. I mean, when are you planning on? Do you have any plans to?
Well, I don't think we officially reviewed it recently, but I know we're always looking at, and we'll probably get a report from Clay today about how things are going. We did expand, or Clay expanded, the recyclable portion. So we're gradually trying to bring this whole thing back to normal. Our concern originally, and hopefully it's reflected in the minutes that I haven't reviewed those.
Yeah.
Was having space enough for domestic trash. And given some constraints from Turnkey, we were concerned about having overflow. Where are you going to put it? So we made that decision to just say, okay, let's just stop C&D for a while. See how that works out. We haven't heard from Clay this week. We're going to hear from him today.
Okay.
On how that portion's working out. But our goal is to get back to. I don't know that we're going to hurry back into you going into the, or not you specifically, but
people
going into the building. We've tried to get a system going where large cardboard can get handled. Obviously, glass is easy.
Right.
Plastic is being back
The metal
up.
pile is open, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're back into plastic cardboard, and I think C&D's next, probably. I think and I don't want to monopolize this, but
Right.
I think the board just needs to feel certain that we can handle both. And I don't see, maybe it's a week, maybe it's 2 weeks,
Okay.
maybe it's a month. I doubt it'll be a month, but.
So the decision was primarily because you want to use the CD containers for overflow?
Right, if it became necessary, we don't want piles of trash that were not in something.
Yeah, our initial decision for the situation that we have now was based upon providing for personal safety of everybody, which is why we're not having people bring stuff into the building, and why the current policy has no direct physical interaction between people bringing stuff up there and the employees at the transfer station.
And exchanging money.
So as we go forward, and of course the governor's putting out revised guidance as we go along, and as a country, we're learning more about this virus as we go, what works and what doesn't, then we're certainly going to reevaluate where things are going and when we can safely protecting everybody, loosen things up a little bit, we'll be doing it.
Yeah, we may have to look at the way people pay to get rid of CD.
Well, so I was gonna say, from my perspective and people that I've talked to, and as all of us here are aware, that the construction debris containers are pretty far away from anywhere else. So as to that, I mean, anyone unloading there's no reason for anybody to be within 50 feet of somebody else. So in terms of the town actually collecting the CD, there's no issue in terms of being close to somebody. I mean, I'm way closer to you right now than anyone would be at the transfer station. So then the issue is money.
Right.
And it seems to me that there are many ways to work around that. I mean, people can put cash or a check in a box, you know. Clay could, make a list of people who brought in stuff and send out invoices later, or we could accept electronic payment, through people's, PayPal, Venmo, there are ways to pay electronically. And then obviously another option is just don't charge for it. That's another option.
And I actually in favor of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not going to happen this year because it has to get reflected in the budget because there's cost involved. But just as an editorial feature,
Yeah.
But it may be, or it is inevitable, I think, that we're going to have to get a little more sophisticated about how we process the transaction.
And I know currently that there's an issue with cell phone reception at the transfer station for some people, but it seems like you're going to take care of that with the cell tower at the garage. That's down the road.
Yeah.
Hopefully that tower will improve the signal there. We don't know, but that's not a solution for today. Because
No.
Probably not a solution for 2021.
Well, so let me just tell you what I think the solution is. I think the solution is the easiest thing to do to get people able to bring in, people clearing out. It's the spring. I really think that you should just let people drop off their CD and just not charge for it at the time. And it can be a temporary policy, start charging again later, or,
And maybe a possible solution is what we've talked about occasionally, the homeowner, the pickup truck load.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think we might be able to accommodate financially. With a budget set up.
Maybe you could exclude contractors. I don't know what the legal.
We have no legal obligation of contractors to take their CD.
Well, there's no legal obligation for C&D. It's the
something
town's required to take refuse. Okay.
Household trash.
And we do.
Okay.
Acceptance of other things is under law is like an accessory thing. You can do it, but you don't have to do it.
Right.
Because C&D is an optional thing. As far as I know, it's always been a pay-as-you-go in this town and in most towns that I'm aware of.
And so, I'm sorry, you're saying that the construction debris is not required by law.
It's not right.
But
right.
But you're
not a
saying
service.
you're saying that by law the town has to accept refuse.
Household
trash.
Right, household refuse.
Yeah,
So-
you can put it in a bag. Dump it in the dumpster.
And that's according to your understanding of the law. Your good faith understanding of the law.
Right. We're obligated to take care of municipal
Okay.
solid waste. We're not obligated to take care of C&D.
But you agree that you're required to take care of solid waste. Okay, so I have the law here. It's 149M,
Sure.
paragraph 17. Each town shall provide a facility or assure access to another approved solid waste facility for its residents. Like if we didn't have one, then we would pay OSAP to, like that. So we're all in agreement there. Under 149M, paragraph 4, which is the definitions, solid waste. Solid waste means any matter consisting of, there's a long list, but one of them is refuse. So we're all in agreement. Refuse means and includes any waste product, blah, 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 lots of stuff, including construction and demolition debris. So as you brought it up, you told me that you're required by law to accept solid waste and refuse. And under the definition in the law, that includes construction and demolition debris. So you are, in fact, required by law to take construction and demolition debris. That's RSA 149M. And I understand that you had a good faith understanding of the law to be one thing, but I think that it's a reasonable interpretation for me. I hope you would agree that if the law says that construction and demolition debris is refuse and refuse is solid waste and the town must provide a facility for solid waste, then in fact, unfortunately, I believe that you're in violation of the law right now, not on purpose, and you're working through a difficult situation and trying to accommodate a lot of things, but in fact, you are in violation. So I'd like to ask for you to reverse your policy, which I think is in violation of the law. Is that a reasonable interpretation?
It's your reasonable interpretation, absolutely. Our obligation vis-a-vis the transfer station is the health and welfare of town citizens. There's no health and welfare issue with C&D.
I agree, because it's really far away from everything else.
There's no health and welfare issue there. So our premise, everything we've done since we made that change in the operation, was for the health and welfare of the citizens.
I agree. I'm not questioning that.
If we are in violation, and I have not reviewed that law, Max, I can't talk to the authority. But even if we were in violation of that law, I would gladly entertain a lawsuit. I mean, because our obligation, first and foremost, is the health and welfare of our citizens. Having lumber or construction debris in a pile next to a house does not adversely affect the health and welfare of the citizens. I agree, or I maybe disagree with my colleagues, that we should take C&D for any number of reasons, even if it weren't in that law. Mm-hmm. Primarily to get it out of wherever it is, and get it to a proper waste.
In particular, right now, I feel like it's going to be piling up, and that could cause a health problem.
It could, but it's all short term as well. And I think the problem
which is why I started off asking. I didn't start off laying this on you in terms of the law. I started off just asking, when are you going to start taking construction debris? Because that's really the issue. Like, when are you going to start up again? That's more important to me than.
I mean, ideally, we'd start up again today, but we need.
Great.
But we probably.
Let's do it.
We probably won't. But our goal is to start up as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Because as you know, I mean, you're the loudest voice in the room usually, but there are other people that need to have the service as well, who aren't here.
Well, and again, that is why I'm here. And I said I was here on behalf of some other people too, because, unlike some other people, I don't have a problem talking in public.
Could I
and I've
ask
You're the chair, you can do whatever you want.
We're over the 10 minutes. Thank you for all your input. We have a busy schedule, and out of respect to the other people that are on the line, I want to move on. But I thank everybody for speaking.
Yeah, and I think it's maybe not on the top of our mind, but it's one of the pieces that needs to get put back together at a real reasonable basis.
Okay.
Basis we possibly can.
Well, thank you for your
And
time.
it may change,
Mm-hmm.
the way we do it may change, so just be prepared,
Okay.
not drastically.
Well, I hope that.
I'm going to continue to be, and I apologize, Chair, for taking it one more time. I'm going to continually be concerned about the health and welfare of our employees. So we need to look at that payment structure and how we do that and make that work.
Right. I mean, and I'll leave in just a second, but if the entire reason to shut down the CUD is so that the employees don't come as close as we are right now, I mean, there's no reason for that because they don't have to come anywhere near anybody.
Folks, move on out of respect to their other people. And again, I say thank you.
Yeah, if you need a long conversation, I haven't reviewed the laws. If you need a longer conversation, you know, it's call me.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to review and approval of minutes. The first item is Monday, April 27th, 9 a.m. public meeting. I have no issue.